Again, guys, to the channel. Today we're gonna be reviewing one of the games that I played yesterday. It was actually quite an interesting game, which has a big factor that determines the game's direction. Of course, I won the game. I don't usually review the games that I've lost because I don't really check them out, but I'll post the games that I've lost if they were actually good or I didn't make like those stupid mistakes or blunders. If the game I just lost because the player was just bad, or post those games too. Now let's get into the game and see what happened. If I started with the Italian game, the fried liver defense. Of course, I took back his pawn on d4 with my pawn on e5. Then he took back with this knight, taking my knight at the same time. But of course, I didn't take his knight. I brought out my queen, protecting my knight and attacking his knight at the same time. He brought out his bishop to e8, attacking protecting his knight. And then I brought out my bishop too, attacking his knight. So he took my knight on c6, releasing the pressure in the middle of the board because he didn't wanna. I don't think he wanted to bring out his pawn because his pawn on to c8 because that will keep too much pressure on the middle of the board, and I don't think the person wanted that. So of course they took my knight on c8, on c6. I took I took their bishop first on e8. Then they took back with the pawn. Then I took back with my pawn, opening up the diagonal of my bishop. Then they developed their knight to c8, which I moved my queen to h, so to h, is it h4 with a check, because they covered that with the pawn. Then I moved my queen to h3. Then they brought out their queen, attacking the pawn on g7, which I covered that space up with my knight. And he castled. He did a long castling. She did. I'm not sure it's a he or she. I'll just call them they. They did the long castling. Then I did the short castling, of course. But I moved the castle to the file to the file F, attacking my horse, my knight. They wanted to keep pressure on the knight so it cannot move, because if it moves, there's pressure of the rook and the bishop there. Of course, I didn't. I've developed my bishop attacking the square that the knight was in, and d1. He brought in his knight. They brought out their knight to f2 because they wanted to double up the. They wanted to double up their position. Then I attacked their bishop on c4. Of course, they bring their bishop out. The reason I was doing this is because I wanted to move my rook on a8 to d8. So I wanted to, before I made that move, I didn't want my pawn to be on in danger. The pawn that I just moved right now in front of the rook. I didn't want it to be in danger because if I attack the queen, they, they can actually move and take that pawn. So I wanted to move that pawn first. Hence, I did this pawn structure here. Of course, I wanted them to protect each other. Then they moved back. Then I moved my rook. This is the move I wanted to make. Brought their queen closer. Then I moved my rook, protecting my knight on f6. They double up their rooks because that was the move. That was the reason they moved the rook one square, because they wanted to double up the file to keep pressure on the knight. So I doubled up my rooks. The computer actually states this as a blunder. I don't really know why this is a blunder, because they say after the move, then the rook to d8, the queen can actually move to f4. So I didn't really understand. Or maybe there's something I just don't see, but I hope you guys can see it. So I moved this queen to c5, which is a big blunder. A big blunder. So I moved my knight. Then I moved my knight to e4, and this is actually a brilliant move, because if you take with the knight, you take the knight with the knight on c3. There's actually a checkmate, right? Because after you take with the knight, you remove the knight from protecting the square d1. So if you take with the knight and then I move my rook to c1, it's check. Then you take with the rook, which is a forced capture. You have to take that because it's a check. Then I take with my other rook, and then it's checkmate. The best move to play here was to sacrifice the queen, because you can't. It was to sacrifice the queen, because so you can save yourself from checkmate, because the other moves really make checkmate, because there's a fork of the rook and the queen, and you can only save one. So the best move here was just to sacrifice the queen to keep the knight to keep the knight protecting the square, because here, if you let's take you move the queen, I was going to take the rook there and keep more pressure on that space. So, but my opponent didn't see the moves, so my opponent took the the knight on e4, which the game was over. Just check. Then it was a forced capture. The rook has to capture because it's a forced one. Then the rook captures, then I capture the checkmate, and then the game is over. It was actually a good game, and I'm glad I found that brilliant move. Not many people could see that move, but I'm glad I found it, and it was actually one of the better games that I played, because sometimes I just don't see those kind of moves. I don't know why, but I'm glad I saw it on this game. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe, like, hit the notification bell so you can be notified the next time I drop. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.